Pace car off.
You ready? Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Glad you're with us on TNN Motorsports. There you see 1 lap complete, lap speed up at 138 miles an hour. Wally Dallenbach, close quarters right there, running middle of the field. He was in 7th spot, manages to gather things back in. Rusty Wallace is the race leader as you look from Bobby Labonte in 9th, back towards Steve Park in 10th. And there's Dallenbach in 7th originally, but now has backslid all the way to join Nemechek.
And you can see why right there. He got a little bit loose. Nemechek touched him on the left rear corner. Got a little bit sideways, but he's having a little bit of problems getting the air pressure built up in these tires to balance the car out right.
Bobby Hamilton in the number 4 Kodak car also is having his problems. He's twice gotten caught in the middle of 3 wide executions of coming out of the corner, and he slipped back every time.
Yes, and that was Earnhardt to just give Mr. Bodine there a wake-up call in the 60 car, Jeffrey Bodine. He just kind of nudged him a little bit and said, I'm down here.
That'll be 12th spot there, while here's the battle for second. The 88 Jarrett, the 16 Kevin LePage. Wonderful qualifying effort for him. Rusty Wallace still the race leader. The first New Hampshire race he has led since leading 1 lap here in July of '95. 7th different race that Rusty has led this season. We're just underway. There's the battle up front. Wallace, Jarrett, LePage, Skinner 4th, Tony Stewart 5th. Oh, problems, Jeffrey Bodine. And
Go on outside, go
Mark
on.
Martin sideways on pit road there. He's starting towards the inside wall. Several cars in that chain reaction there. You see Jerry Nadeau getting back straight again in the 36th car.
Bill Elliott went roaring right down pit road along with Jeff Burton. Smoke off the back of Jeff Bodine's car.
A lot of smoke. He got into the wall with the right rear corner there. You can see it mashed in quite a bit. Tire smoke galore.
Caution number 1 of the day coming out on lap number 4 as Jeffrey Bodine won around in the Power Team Chevrolet. Was it of his own doing? We'll have to take another look to find out exactly what transpired. But suffice to say, everybody took evasive action, and it's not the widest of racetracks either, buddy. Some of those guys, as we saw Mark Martin, having to use pit road for the getaway.
Well, he started to go down pit road, and I think he had a little assistance right at the end there and turned him around. He got very lucky there. He didn't get into the inside wall. See a lot of damage on the right front corner also of Bodine's car.
All right, let's see what happens now. That's Bodine in the black car with Wally Dallenbach. That's the first bump.
Okay, now he's in big trouble right here. Watch him come up and just hit the wall right there.
And look at the 45 just sneaking through. David Green, that purple car.
And Bill Elliott, several of the cars going down pit road. Also, Jeff Burton, 99.
A lot of guys with close calls. Watch it again. Round goes Jeffrey.
Yeah, and you can tell this is what the drivers see coming at this wreck. Nothing. You can't see anything. So if you can go down pit road and avoid those cars spinning, you have to do it.
And there is no speed limit on pit road if you're doing that. If you're going down pit road in order to avoid an accident, you do not have to go slowly. You can go as fast as you want.
You saw Ted Musgrave in the 75 spin around. All of this at lap number 4. And here's what Mark Martin saw. Watch what he has to do.
Watch Sterling Marlin just in front of you as he gets to this wreck. He really takes a ride. Wham yow.
And for those of you new to NASCAR, wham yow is a technical racing term. That means hold on, here we go.
Rusty Wallace goes down into turn 3. Of course, Tony Stewart in the 20 there, right on the bottom. Rusty pushes up right there. He jumps up beside him. Rusty comes down. They make contact. Yeah, racing is a contact sport.
That was lap 53 as Tony Stewart took the lead. Now begins to work around some of the lap machines who are about to put a lap on Sterling Marlin. Sterling had been on pit road a number of times. Remember all the damage? You can see it right there through Tony's windshield. You saw the damage to the left side, left rear of Sterling Marlin's machine. And in 39th, Sterling's about to go a lap down.
Well, you can bet one thing. When they stop and come in and fill these cars up with 2 cans of fuel, they'll take the cans and weigh them to see how much fuel they used on this run and how many laps. They'll know exactly how far that car will go on green flag runs from here on out.
No fuel gauges in these cars. That's the only way they can monitor how much fuel is in them and how much they've got to finish a run.
Other pit stops. Here comes Dale Jarrett. He's running 4th as he peels off the racetrack. Glenn, here comes your brother.
Yeah, Eli, this pit stop is exactly when they scheduled. They said around lap 87, 88, and this is lap 88. Dale comes in. There should be a 4-tire change, and they're going to make a chassis adjustment. His car has been a little bit loose ever since the run. He waves off the bottle of water. They're on the right side now. Fuel going in the car. Right side's down there around to the left. And I still haven't seen the chassis adjustment. And here comes Rusty Wallace down pit right behind him. DJ is down and away. Rusty Wallace follows him closely. I look for Tony Stewart to come in on the next lap. This is lap 89. So here's Rusty. This is exactly when they scheduled their stop. 4 tires as well. They have been talking to Rusty about maybe trying a little bit different line going into turn 3. That seems to be where he's losing the most time on Tony Stewart. Great pit stop going for those guys right now. We got the clock on it. Rusty's down and away. Wow. I got him in about 15.8 seconds. That's a great stop, and here comes Tony Stewart.
Other stops, Tony Stewart's in. Kyle is in. Here comes LePage along with Bobby Labonte. Dale Earnhardt is in. Andretti is in. The new leader is Steve Park. As we check out all of these pit stops, seems to be routine for the race leader. Now to Ralph and Kyle's pit.
Well, Kyle was doing a little cheerleading himself. Eli, he turned down pit road. He was begging the crew for a good stop. And boy, they gave him a good one. A little over 16 seconds. And he's pumped up, Glenn Jarrett.
Yeah, Tony Stewart had a great pit stop, about 16.2. But as the jack went down, Tony stalled the car. He lost about an extra half a second or so. Kyle Petty was able to either catch him or go by him as they were going down pit road.
Wally Dallenbach is in for a scheduled stop, and there is Steve Park in the #1 Pennzoil machine. He too will make a pit stop. Chad Little comes in also. These stops taking place now at lap number 92. Watch that replay again of the problems that Tony Stewart had.
Right there, he choked it down. Now they're pushing. He had refired him back out into action. There's Kyle just behind him.
Joe Nemechek, the new leader, as Steve Park makes his pit stop. So too does Mark Martin come in. Likewise, Johnny Benson. Brett Bodine is in. Elliott Sadler in as well. Back to pit road.
Eli, Steve Park even stalled the engine as the car came to a rest, but he got it going again. A little damage to the left front bumper area and the quarter panel area of Steve Park. They pulled it out a little bit, changed 4 tires, fuel, sent it back out.
More pit stops now. Nemechek is in. So too Jerry Nadeau in. All of these stops taking place under green. There you see the Bell South Chevrolet. Joe Nemechek, who has won here in NASCAR Busch Series competition. Now it all cycles back around to Rusty Wallace because Bill Elliott also makes a pit stop and was the last of the drivers on the lead lap who had not yet stopped. So at lap number 93, we have cycled back around to race leader Rusty Wallace, who led the first 52 laps earlier in the day.
Gentlemen, if you need to know anything that's happening with engines, there's nobody better in this garage here to ask than Jack Roush.
He's the man.
Yeah, he is. And let me tell you who was tuning the carburetor in that very number 99 car this morning was Jack Roush. For all his money, all his teams, all his responsibilities.
Trouble on the back straightaway.
Spinning off against the wall.
Craven.
That is Ricky Craven, who was looking so forward to a good run today. He's now being shown in 29th spot, and caution is out at lap number 112 for the 4th time today, with Ricky Craven ending up against the wall. Who can forget? You know, you talk about this track, Ernie, being a great one when you came back and got the win after your injuries. Remember when Ricky came back and won the Bud Pole here last year?
Oh man, it was really exciting. You know, just because Ricky, had a great feeling in his heart, and he wanted to Winston Cup race again. and he ended up on the pole.
We've talked about Irvin Simo Racing. We discussed it on the pre-race show today. What is the master plan? How many vehicles in what NASCAR divisions? Where can the folks expect to see you and your involvement over these next few years?
What we really like to do is continue to, advance the Federated Auto Parts team. And, right now we're projecting to run, 12 to 14 Winston Cup races next year. And, hopefully be able to take another team and try to advance with them. And, this is Winston Cup racing is very tough.
Yep.
And a lot of times sponsors don't really realize that. So, right now we think that we're going to try to run a short time schedule because it's too hard to be able to run a full-time schedule right now.
Ernie Irvin, there are just some guys, I guess, who just run these flat, slick racetracks well. Even a guy like Bobby Hamilton says he hates flat, slick racetracks, runs them well, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Jeff Burton's really good on there, but they have been able to communicate real well. There was a pass for the lead, Tony Stewart and Rusty Wallace, but they've been able to communicate real well together and figure out what chassis setup they need when the race starts, and they're real good. They haven't been real good on qualifying on some of these tracks, but they're real good in the race.
And let's give a good call right behind them. Mr. Petty is running so very, very well today.
He really is. You bet he is. He has not had a top 5 since 1997, but he's having a terrific run here this afternoon.
Sitting there in third place. His father used to run pretty much the same type of race that Kyle's running today. Kind of lays back, makes adjustments on the car when it counts.
Oh,
John
Andretti and Skinner and Mark Martin. Again, Mark gets hit a second time. Caution with debris and cars all over the corners. Lap 125. The 43, you see him, low of your screen. Andretti. Everybody else pulls away. Mark Martin was kind of like Ernie. He was like the little silver ball in a pinball machine.
Yeah, that wasn't a good sign. Obviously this racetrack, it's so slippery. When you come from the bottom and go across in the middle, then a lot of times you can't avoid it.
Look at Jeff Gordon, got banged up extensively there on the right front, right rear.
And buddy, I'm not even out there.
Oh, Ricky.
And Ricky Rudd also parked up against the wall there. A lot of damage. You can see the steam coming out of the front of the car.
Mark Martin had worked himself back up to 11th. There's David Green in the 45. He was involved.
Well, they've been making comparisons between this racetrack and Martinsville all weekend long. It sure looks like Martinsville with all these cars bent up.
See John Andretti out of the car. That's always a good sign. He was sitting on the door there.
Well, Mark Martin, you wonder if he's ever going to get a break.
So here come the leaders now. Lap number 127 is when Stewart and Wallace and Kyle running in third. Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett's in, Steve Park, all the leaders. Let's go to Steve.
And Jeff Burton's in. They made a track bar adjustment. They also cleaned the grill, Eli. They're a little concerned about the water temperature. So Jeff Burton is down and away to Ralph Shaheen.
Steve, they're a little concerned with the 44, the nose of Kyle Petty's machine. He said he got into the back of Rusty Wallace just as everything got a little crazy on the racetrack. They're taking 4 tires of fuel, Glenn.
Okay, Bobby Labonte just went by, only took 2 tires. Rusty Wallace is in for 2 with 4 tires and a chassis adjustment. Dale Jarrett's still in, and he is blocked in by Bobby Hamilton. He finally gets out and gets around, but 4 tires for the 2 in the 88. I could not see the 20.
He did come in, obviously, at lap number 127. You see all that debris there. Watch the first contact here. This is for the lead first.
Tony Stewart checked up just a little bit. The 2 car gets into the back of him, and from there on, you see Kyle Petty getting into him.
And at that very moment, right behind them, here was what was happening. Skinner into the back of Andretti, and round they went. Boy, I'll tell you, John took a lick there.
He really did. He backed into it hard. The whole back end of that car is about at the point of the firewall.
I think the problem is here is you're going so fast into that corner, you're braking so hard.
Now you see Mark Martin already spinning. Watch him again.
He gets, wow.
Whoever hit him and then went up on the racetrack.
Let's see what Mark Martin saw. We ride with him now. Let's just listen and see.
Earnhardt got into the back of the 6 car there and turned him around, but it was everybody checking up.
That was David Green in the 45 who got him the second time.
He also topped off with fuel just a few moments ago, so he's in good shape on fuel.
Green flag, lap 138. Rick Mast, Terry Labonte, Kevin LePage, Elliott Sadler, Bobby Labonte. That's your top 5. There's the Midas wall camera brought to you by Midas. Go safely. Go Midas.
A lot of 3 wide stuff here. You cannot go into the turns here 3 wide and come out successfully. You do it down the straightaway. You can't get in the corner that way.
By the way, that is a robot camera. There's no man brave enough to stand where that camera sits.
Yes, that car ate its cornflakes this morning, huh?
Oh,
Still running after being beaten up as badly as that. But, you know, you look at this field go by this afternoon, and it seems like the majority of cars have got some kind of mark on them from some kind of altercation, either with a wall or another car.
Oh,
Here's
trouble
more of
again
it.
off the corner.
Skinner in it.
Skinner was there, and a host of others. Jeff Gordon there limping through.
Mike Skinner's got tremendous amount of damage to the right front corner. Also looks like the sway bar may be broken on the left front. I can see a piece of metal hanging straight down.
That's Hut Strickland's car. The Federated Auto Parts machine nose in at the turn 2 corner. Oh, and Kenny Wallace, who had a great run here, spun first. Actually, he was the guy who went around first. If our quick look at it out of the corner of the eye is true, looked like he went around as the first one, and then everybody else kind of followed through. We'll see if we can take a look up in the corner. Let's watch together. There's Kenny on the inside. Let's see.
Yeah, there's Kenny right there. He's getting very loose there. Just behind him, Hut Strickland. You can see him making contact there. Mike Skinner on the flat part of the racetrack down there. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, Kenny broke loose first, and then the other guys got caught up. There's Jeff Gordon really woeing it down. Again, Hut Strickland and Skinner to the inside. Kenny Wallace to the outside. Look at Kenny Irwin going way wide. And Gordon just stomping on those brakes for all they're worth.
Oh, Gordon got by that without hitting anybody. Good job to be able to do that.
Welcome back. We've had our own thrill zone going here at New Hampshire this afternoon. Little beating, little banging, little bumping and running. And the leader, Terry Labonte, just picking his way through race traffic. 99, Jeff Burton, like a master craftsman, picking his way in and around some of the slower machines. He's now up to 5th.
Eli, that might be the only car that I've really watched go into traffic and pass 3 wide in the middle of the corner. That car is like glue in the middle part of the corner, sticking right down any place he puts it.
Well, it looks like an oil line for Kyle Petty. The one that would be the oil pressure line is what they're looking at, and they're checking all of those hoses right now.
So the repairs continue. Meanwhile, caution on the speedway. Problems on the back straightaway. Look out. Todd Bodine tagged that wall, got caught up in traffic, and at lap 170, we will have caution. And again, they were bragging on him earlier today. The crew said how great it is, how well Todd's working out. Of course, no guarantees for the future, buddy, but they were excited.
Well, they should be. He's done a great job in that car. He's given them a lot of response as far as what they need to do to the car to make it more competitive. You could see a lot of damage there. Bottom side of the car dragging, a little bit of fire there underneath it. Left front not even turning. So there's a lot of damage on that car.
All the leaders made their pit stop seconds ago. This is on videotape. Everybody came in. No major problems or surprises. As it waves now at New Hampshire International, Dale Jarrett the leader at lap 174. Of course, Jarrett, one of the few who chose not to come in And by virtue of that, he assumed the lead. Glenn, why'd your brother stay out?
Well, they couldn't make it the rest of the way on fuel, and his buddy said that was the best that he had run all day. He was running the quickest laps on the racetrack. Rusty Wallace came in, took 2. The reason Tony Stewart's so far back, he took 4.
And that explains all the doings on pit road.
And how do you say 5-point bonus?
Yeah.
He just got it. He led that lap and got his 5-point bonus for leading the race. Look at this, side by side, the 2 car there of Wallace and Earnhardt really battling right now for second spot.
Been a while since we've seen this view, but it's a fun view to see when those 2 guys get battling side by side for position.
Earnhardt just drove her deep down in the corner. You see Rusty right now being overtaken by Bobby Labonte in the green car there.
On the high side yet.
You're looking at Dale Jarrett. Remember, folks, that when the other leaders pitted at lap 169, Dale did not. As a result, he inherited the lead. But we've got to be coming up real close on a pit stop for him. He came in at lap 127. Remember, these laps are a bit over a mile. Yep, here he comes. You knew he had to be darn near the end of his fuel cell. And Glenn, that's going to hand the lead to another brother. It'll be Bobby Labonte taking over the top spot.
Yeah, DJ had stretched that thing as far as he could. The one reason they stayed out is he and Todd Parrott were in a pretty heavy discussion as to how many tires they were going to change, whether it would be 2 or 4. It looks like that it's going to be a 4-tire change. They peeled the cover off the windshield.
Caution.
We got caution.
Oh, boy.
Michael Waltrip is in the wall hard. Dale Jarrett is on the pit lane. This is at lap number 219. So Jarrett will now be in 26th, and he will be, at this stage, 1 lap down, but a long way behind.
And only 75 laps to go to make it up. He has got a lot of work to do and not much time in which to do it.
Well, what he has to do right now is have a little patience. I know he's aggravated, but he has that mindset with the big picture is what he's after. I'm sure he's going to take his time and try to get back in the lead lap, but I don't think he's going to do anything stupid by trying too hard and maybe causing a wreck.
Boy, Kyle Petty there wiggling. He got hit in the back end.
Kyle with a great run going earlier that had the oil line problem. Puts him 8 laps down now. Kyle's in 34th. Bobby Labonte is in 3rd. Oh, and there goes Stewart around him. So that changes quickly
You wouldn't
enough.
have made a very good driver, I don't think, Eli.
No.
You do a lot of hollering, but you wouldn't do much steering. You hollered, but you never turned your hands. I was turning my hands.
You want to ride in a rental car with Baker. He uses his feet for the brakes, too, I'll tell you.
Well, anybody would when they ride with you.
Remember, the point lead was 270 for Dale Jarrett coming in. And that was over Mark Martin, you'll remember. So as they run right now, you'd see Martin drop a position and close in just a bit. But we've still got plenty of racing. We're only at lap 227 of 300.
See Tony Stewart right now trying to work his way back. Kyle Petty right there was one of the lead cars most of the days for some of you guys that are just joining us right now, but he had a problem with an oil line and lost several laps. So the car was good enough maybe to even bring a victory to him, but right now his lap's down.
That's the battle for the lead. Terry Labonte has it. And Joe Nemechek, who has only led 4 events this year, wants to grab a piece of it. Nemechek led 4 laps at Atlanta, a lap at Talladega, 4 laps at Daytona for the Pepsi, and then a lap a week or so ago, a couple of weeks back at Darlington.
And I talked to him yesterday. Nemechek is out of this ride at the end of the year. Yesterday he told me he does not yet have anything firm for year 2000. Well, every car owner watching this knows this guy can run well, and here is good proof of his ability.
Terry kind of slides up. He's going to take the lead, it looks like.
Nemechek for the lead.
No, Terry kind of powers back down the straightaway, about a half a car length lead. And now, going in the corner, it won't be much of a fight. Nemechek leads.
A NASCAR Busch Series winner here in New Hampshire, now leading in Winston Cup competition with 70 laps to go. Lap 230, it swaps him around.
What a story it would be if Nemechek could win this thing here at New Hampshire this afternoon in the Bell South Chevrolet.
Well, Joe's wife, Andrea, is here, Eli. She is always at the races, but there are two people missing here today. Joe's mom, Martha, and his father are not here as well. Now, they had to stay back in Florida, not because of the hurricane, but because of a wedding of a family friend. And Eli, I know like you do, I'm sure Martha is destroying that house right now.
And for those of you there who are not watching the wedding, just stay here. The Reverend Baker, Bergman, and Gold will officiate
I
this one.
guarantee you, knowing Martha, she's probably got a laptop sitting there watching this thing right now, because every lap that Joe Nemechek goes around the racetrack, when she's even close, she runs it with him.
One of the great ladies in this business.
Now, Tony Stewart is decidedly closing the gap here. 20 laps ago, it was 3.160 seconds between them. That last time around, it's 1.120 seconds. You can see it. They're both in the same screen. 25 laps to go.
Race leader Joe Nemechek got caught up behind the 2x2 racing of Bill Elliott and Mark Martin. They both finally pulled away, let the leaders go by, but Tony Stewart has caught Joe Nemechek for the lead.
Joe Nemechek right now coming off turn 4.
Oh,
There's
trouble. Elliott Sadler goes around running in ninth
Everything we
place.
can get right here. Everything we can get.
What
Oh,
a finish we're going to have. And watch this race back. Joe Nemechek and Tony Stewart with Elliott Sadler going around lap 283. Heartbreaker for Sadler, running all day in the top 10. The spin off turn number 2. And Joe Nemechek is the race leader.
Elliott Sadler got back around straight and did not lose a lap, though. He will come around and then come in the pits and probably put 4 tires on.
Again, what the incident was Elliott Sadler right here. Let's watch.
Schrader gets into the left rear corner. Around goes Elliott Sadler. Watch him back up the racetrack here. Never making contact. Oh, that's close, but it just barely touched it with the back of the car. Boy, the greatest thing they got going is Mark Martin on the inside. He's a gentleman. You see him roll out and let the 2 leaders go by as they go down in the corner. Now it's just who has what.
Nemechek has opened a little bit of ground between himself and Tony Stewart.
Car length and a half is breathing room enough. There's the Midas wall camera, brought to you by Midas. Giving you some great shots here today.
Green, green, green.
Here comes Bobby Labonte on the inside of Tony Stewart as they head down into turn 1. Didn't quite make it.
Joe Gibbs' teammates right there, Stewart and Labonte.
Trouble in turn 1. Steve Park backwards.
Spins around, but he's still moving. I don't think that'll bring a caution out as they come down into turn 3.
Exactly. No yellow flag being displayed. If Nemechek wins, he'll be a first-time winner. If Tony Stewart wins following the win of last week, it'd be the first time since 1964 that a first-time winner won the very next race as well. Left side tire flat for LePage. Unscheduled stop for him. On the racetrack, though, down to the final 6 laps.
Nemechek looking good so far on this restart.
That was a great shot from Bobby Labonte's car as he comes off the corner there. You can see the shine on the racetrack there. Very slick coming out of the corner. These guys are being precise, but the hammer's down right now. This is not a dress rehearsal. They're going for it.
Joe Nemechek trying to give himself an early birthday present. He turns 36 on the 26th of this month. There's 5th spot swapping around. Schrader's grabbing the spot. Ward Burton comes through. He's on the lead lap, and he'll make the move too as Schrader went wide. Here comes Rick Mast in the 98 and Kenny Irwin in the 28.
Terry Labonte, bam, in the back of Schrader's car.
Bobby Hamilton in the 4 also goes by. 0.6 of a second. Nemechek back to Stewart. Now Joe's the quickest.
Man without a ride.
Labonte and Hut Strickland, they go around. Caution on the speedway. They're not going to be able to clean it up again in time. They're going to be coming around for the win this time. We're at lap 297. If Nemechek gets back first, he's going to have this one tucked away.
The racetrack is clear. If the cars up here that wrecked stay where they're at, Nemechek knows he has to run back to the flag.
Here comes Nemechek. He comes back. He'll take the caution at 298. There'll not be time to get this one going. Nemechek. Joe Nemechek is a first-time winner in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Ralph, how about it?
Well, I'm down here with Jay Smith. Tony Glover just said over the radio, Jay, that to Joe, I want you to do whatever you want to do to this race car. If you want to blow it up, smoke it up, whatever, enjoy this moment. What would you suggest?
I guess we'll just have to see what he does. Maybe do a little advertising for Bell South here. Probably spectacular, I'd say. The first one is always memorable for everybody.
Eli, I don't think he's anything else.
Everybody going by, waving, congratulating. Look at Dale Earnhardt waving.
Just run